What kind of man walks away from the biggest moment of his career, right when the world finally sees him? In 1965, Don Knotts did exactly that. No scandal, no breakdown, just a quiet exit from the Andy Griffith Show, a role that had already made him unforgettable. And here's the question that lingers: why would someone leave when they're finally winning? To understand that decision, you have to go much deeper, back to a childhood that didn't feel safe. Born in 1924 in Morgantown, West Virginia, Don grew up in a home filled with unpredictability. His father struggled with mental illness and alcohol. Imagine being a child, never knowing what version of a parent you'll face. That kind of tension doesn't disappear, it settles inside you. It shapes how you speak, how you react, even how you laugh. And that's the twist. The man who made millions laugh was quietly carrying anxiety his entire life. As a teenager, he found an escape: a puppet, ventriloquism. When the voice wasn't his, the pressure faded. It was like hiding behind a mask, but one that made people smile. Later, during World War II in 1943, he performed for soldiers in the Pacific. Tough crowds, real pressure, no second takes. That's where he learned timing, not just jokes, but silence. The pause before laughter. The moment before everything falls apart. That became his signature. By the time he reached television, especially the Andy Griffith Show in 1960, something magical happened. Andy Griffith played it straight, calm, steady. But Don Knotts? He played Barney Fife like a man constantly on the edge. Nervous, overthinking, always half a step behind. And somehow that made it real. You didn't laugh at him. You recognized yourself in him. He won 5 Emmy Awards starting in 1961. Think about that. The same character, the same energy, repeated perfectly. But behind the scenes, that pressure was intense. Comedy like his wasn't loud, it was precise. Every pause had to be exact. Every reaction perfectly delayed. Imagine doing that week after week. So when 1965 came, he made a choice. He believed the show would end, so he left. But it didn't. It continued until 1968. And just like that, he stepped away from something that might have lasted longer. A miscalculation? Or something deeper? Because here's the truth: success doesn't always feel safe. For someone who grew up in chaos, stability can feel temporary, even suspicious. Sometimes, people leave before things fall apart, just to stay in control. He kept working, films like The Ghost and Mr. Chicken and The Apple Dumpling Gang, then returned to TV in Three's Company in 1979. But nothing ever quite matched that original rhythm. In his later years, his health declined. Vision problems, anxiety, lung cancer. And on February 24, 2006, at 81, he passed away quietly, just like many of his life's biggest decisions. But here's what stays with you. Don Knotts didn't need to be the loudest person in the room. He didn't chase perfection. He showed you something more powerful: that vulnerability, hesitation, even fear can become your greatest strength. So ask yourself, what are you hiding that might actually be your gift?